Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, it's nice to see you. If you haven't been here before, it's nice to meet you.
I was don't forget to be present. I will look at you, I promise. I promise. I'll do my best, I promise, okay? Hyper. Okay. Hello, friends.
So today's video is going to be something that I put off for a very long time, and initially I was putting it off because I didn't want it to be like, I didn't want to talk about it because I thought it would be like sad and depressing, and honestly, like, it's not sad, it's not depressing, it's something that's happened to me and I want to talk about it. There are so many people I know, I'm gonna say people because stereotypically it's girls, but there's guys out there too that like struggle so much with body image issues and struggle so much with loving themselves as they are and where they're at. And I know myself, I struggle with that every single day, and I'm not like saying like, oh, I'm like so enlightened, I'm like so body positive, any of that. No, if anything, I'm the complete opposite. But there's a but. I don't want my story to be something that haunts me and makes me feel sad and depressed. I want it to be something that I'm proud that I've overcome and that I'm at a good place in my life. It was a very lonely time in my life, but we got through it and we are here and we are turning 20. I'm stalling because like today's video is that bitch. She is that girl. Today's video is the eating disorder video. Yes, I did struggle with body image issues. I had an eating disorder. I did starve myself. It was a very dark part of my life, but I feel healthier and happier than I think I've ever been, and I have such a good group of people around me who are so supportive and loving and like being open and like telling my family and telling my dad that I struggled with that, because when I was struggling with it, I struggled alone. No one knew. No one knew I was starving myself. Okay, that's not true. And that is gonna like dive us right on into the story. So I'm gonna give backstory, but I don't want this video to be like all about my story with my eating disorder. I want it to be about my recovery with my eating disorder, and I want it to be positive and empowering, and I don't feel sad about it anymore. I want to go in with the energy of like, this happened to me and I overcame it and I'm strong. Initially I filmed this video like 6 times and the energy just comes off wrong, and I don't want to be the person who is just like, feel sorry for me. I want to film this video only with the intention of people seeing the truth and people seeing that you can come out of these things, and people seeing that if you are struggling with it and you know that you're doing something wrong to your body and you don't want to talk to anyone, then this is the video for you, and this is my attempt to convince you to start loving yourself and stop hating yourself. So, like, from grade 6 to like grade 8, it was just like, oh, I feel fat, like maybe I should like not eat as much, maybe I should like exercise more, maybe I should, maybe I should just take better care of myself. And then grade 9 hits, and I had this best friend, and she's still one of my really, really good friends to this day. I love her so much, and for the sake of her privacy, I'm not going to name her name, but she knows who she is. I had this friend, and we were best friends, like best friends. That girl is going to be one of my best friends till the day I die. I love her. But we were both struggling so much with this inner turmoil, and she thought she was fat, and I thought I was fat, and like I was like, I'm a different body type than she is, so then she thought she was extra fat, and then we kind of just went into this cycle together. And we were like, I had been starving myself for a while up to this point. Like summer of grade 8, I'd been starving myself consistently. And then I kind of opened up to her and she said, well, I've been doing the same thing. And it went on like that for a really long time. And I remember very vividly her coming home from a family vacation and saying, I barely ate on the trip, but I was my goal weight, so maybe I'll just keep doing that. And that is a memory that is stuck in my head forever and ever and ever because, like I said, I love this girl. I think this girl is stunning. I love her so much. She was such a big part of me growing up and, like, growing up together and, like, struggling with this together. And when she said that, I was like, no, don't do that to yourself. Like, you're beautiful just the way you are. Like, I love you, and you're important, and you're special, but then I would turn around and I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, but you have to do it. Because you're not small enough, because you're not skinny enough, because your boobs are too big, because this. No one's gonna like you if you stay the size you are. No one's gonna want to be your friend. No one's gonna want to be your boyfriend. No one's gonna want to care about you. No one's gonna want to date you. No one's gonna want to love you if you stay the way you are. And that's, like, heavy. That's heavy. At 14, when you already are like, whoa, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, what is happening to me? And then, so after grade 9, this girl and I went to different high schools. So we definitely have drifted apart. We're not as close as we once were, but of course you're going to be not as close with someone when you don't see them every day and you're not hanging out with them every day. But, like, that girl is still my bitch, okay? I love you. And then the summer of grade 9 hit, and I was, like, going through a lot. And I was trying to figure out who I was, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted people to know about me, and I was still struggling with the fact that I was trying to keep my CP a secret, and I didn't want anyone to know. Summer of grade 9, I'm still really, 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 really struggling. Like, really struggling. And at this point, I had a best friend, and she is and was extremely beautiful. Like, extremely beautiful. Everywhere we went, everyone was like, oh, she's so beautiful. Like, all the guys wanted to date her. She knows who she is. We're not really close anymore, but, like, hey, girl, what's up? Yeah, she's just so beautiful. She's such, yeah, there's no other way to put it other than, like, she's extremely beautiful. Like, people would, like, the cause teachers would use, like, her face in class as an example of, like, a perfect face, okay? So, like, then there was me, 4'10" Steph, with, like, really big boobs and really short hair, walking beside her, and, like, she never made me feel like I was less than, and I want to thank her for that, because she never made me feel like I was ugly. I did that to myself. But also, so as I was struggling with this, summer of grade 9 was when I really, really started to restrict myself and restrict my eating and go, like, days without eating and just, like, eating crackers and water. And, like, what I'm so thankful for my body is I physically cannot make myself throw up. Because believe me, I've tried. And I tried for years. And I would just sit in the bathroom and I would cry and I would try to make myself puke, because if you don't digest the food, then you're obviously not gonna gain any weight. Like, that was my mentality, and that's not how it works. But I'm so grateful that I cannot make myself throw up when I say I've tried, and it's graphic and it's ugly and there's a lot of tears. But, yeah, so that was happening, and I'm grateful that my body would not allow me to start purging, because if I started purging, then I feel like what I was doing to my body would become extremely dangerous. Not that it wasn't already. I'm going to insert some photos, or a photo. I don't know how many I have of, like, I think I have one at the beginning of grade 10 when you can really see how small and frail I've gotten. But I've always, so, like, a part of me always knew in my mind that it was wrong and what I was doing to my body was wrong. So I always kept on enough weight that people wouldn't ask questions. But, like, I was struggling so much, and I was struggling alone. I didn't tell my dad until about 4 months ago when I felt like I was completely recovered. And yes, I still have, like, the mental impacts of my eating disorder, but, like, I haven't wanted to stick my hands down my throat for a very long time. I haven't wanted to starve myself consistently for a very long time. And so when it came to me making a YouTube channel and talking about my CP and talking about my struggles and talking about friendships and talking about all the things that I struggle with, in the back of my mind, I knew that this video had to become a thing. And I had to talk about it, and I had to release it from my mind. And so I told my dad. And the women figures in my life, when I hit puberty, also struggled with bulimia and eating disorders. And I don't know the extent of it, but I walked into the kitchen, and he had known that I was starting a YouTube channel for a while because I was very excited, and he was very supportive, and for that, Dad, like, thank you so much for being so supportive. But he came into the kitchen, and I was so scared because I knew what I had done to my body for so long was so detrimental. I knew what I had been doing to my body was wrong. And I knew that I was hurting my family, and I knew that I was hurting myself. And because of my CP, I had to go to, like, a lot of, like, doctor's appointments and clinics and all of these things where they'd say, "Are your eating habits okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, love food." And I was just lying to all of these people's faces, and I was just lying to myself for so freaking long. And it just took so much out of me. And then, so the night that I told my dad, he came into the kitchen, and I was so scared because it was finally going to become real if I admitted this to myself out loud to my father. Because at this point, I told my best friend, and I'd been open and honest with my best friend. And I said, "Hey, this is what I'm struggling with. I can't do it alone anymore. Like, and this wasn't, like, the, like, starving myself portion of it anymore. This was the mental kind of, you're ugly, you're fat, no one's gonna love you, that kind of mentality of it." And I just told her, and I was like, "I can't do this alone anymore. I'm struggling, and I need someone to help me." And thank God to my best friend, and she's been through this stuff on her own, so she kind of knows how scary it is to be honest with yourself enough to, like, say that something's wrong and that what you're doing is wrong, but then, like, admitting it to your parent who's done so much for you and has put in so much work for you and your body and has loved you unconditionally since the day you got to this planet. And looking him in the eye, I was so scared, and I was just like, "Hey, Dad, like, I need to talk to you." And he, like, closed the fridge, and he's like, "Yeah?" And I was like, "Just so you know, I used to have eating issues, but I don't anymore, but I wanted to let you know because I'm going to make a YouTube video about it." And this was months ago. And, like, I, like, did not go into, like, details. That's all I said. Like, literally word for word. And he was like, "You know that fucks with your body, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You know you're not fat, right?" And I was like, "Well, right now I do." Because, like, when you're put on the spot like that, your brain's just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing?" And so I, like, telling him, like, broke my heart because I didn't want him to think that it was his fault. And, like, when you're in that state, your mind is sick. There's a part of your life, there's a part of your body that is, like, trying to get you to hurt yourself. Your mental health is not at its optimal point of, like, it's just not what it should be. And so when I told him that, it kind of started to move things for me. It became real. Like, I did struggle with this. I am recovering from this. I am recovering from this every day. And kind of acknowledging to myself the fact that, like, something is wrong. and what you're doing to yourself is wrong, and how you're hurting yourself is wrong, and you should love your body, and you should care about yourself enough to love yourself. And then, so I told him, and a lot of my family doesn't know. I've definitely alluded to it a lot in my videos, and then, like, if they've watched them, I guess they kind of know. But then I told my cousin, and my cousin is my sister. I love her. She is so important in my life, and keeping this from her for so long was so hard. And she knows that I've struggled with a lot of depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts and all that stuff, and I've been open about that. But something about, like, just starving myself and, like, not loving myself enough to the point of, like, detrimentally hurting my body, like, I don't, and, like, I idolized her when I was young. I put her on this pedestal. I think she's super beautiful. I think she's super talented. I think she's super fit. I think she's super athletic. She's everything that I wanted to be. Like, her family life is everything that I wanted to have. And, like, not to say that my family life isn't great. Like, I love my family, and I'm very at peace with it now. But, like, growing up, like, it wasn't the same. I didn't have those same, like, strong, like, comfortable with myself feelings. And so when I told my cousin, I think that someone else was she was talking about someone else who had been doing something, and I was just like, well, yeah, but, like, when I was starving myself, I didn't tell anyone. Like, when I had eating issues, I didn't tell anyone. And that, like, that's how I said it, because I didn't want it to seem like it was, like, this big, like, happening right now thing, because at the same time, I didn't want, like, I didn't want her to, like, be like, yo, like, because she is the one that I would go to family dinners and she'd be like, you're really small. Like, I'm going to force feed you if you don't eat all that. Like, you need to eat more. And, like, I think, like, part of her instinctually knew that I was not treating myself the best. I was not loving myself how I should. And I was just really struggling with the whole eating thing. And so when I told them, it became very real for me. And and then this was months ago that I told her, and then I've been trying to film this video every day since. Like, not every day, but, like, I've sat down to film this video probably 6 or 7 times, and it just doesn't come out the way I want it to, and it's not the vibe that I'm going for, because I don't want it to be like, oh, poor me, you used to starve yourself. Like, it's like, no, I used to starve myself. So if you are starving yourself, if you are struggling, even if you're not starving yourself, even if you're just telling yourself in the mirror that you hate what you see and you need to lose weight and, like, blah, 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 it's all not real. It's all in your head. And when you die, and when you're in your casket, as morbid as this is, no one is going to care about what your body looks like. They're only going to care about how you treated people and who you were as a person. And that is what's important. And what you look like is not important. What you look like is not the end of the world. Like, honestly. And, like, it's always good to want to better yourself. It's always good to be like, yo, like, what's good? You look really good today, and I'm really proud of you for exercising and eating healthy, but, like, you know what, if you don't want to do those things, if you want to go eat that pizza, if you want to lay on the couch for a while, like, fuck it. Do it. Because coming from the person who's been on the other side of things, and has starved herself, and has hurt herself, and has really, 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 really went to the ends of the earth over this, and is like, maybe I'm just not worthy, and maybe I should end it all. When it gets to that point, you need to look at yourself and say, hey, you know what? Even if you don't want to be here for you, you got other people to be here for. And being that, when it gets to that point, and when you're, like, on that part of your life path, and you're just like, hey, like, this sucks. Like, this really sucks, and I don't see the way out of this. Like, it's not about what you look like. And the magazines and the Instagram, the Instagram and the Instagram models and all of these things, where I still find myself looking at these people and I'm like, oh, maybe I should go to the gym. Maybe I'm like, but, like, you know what? Like, everyone says this, but, like, that's not real. And, like, those people that are, like, face-turning their bodies and doing all this stuff for likes on Instagram, like, they're not happy, they are miserable, and they are insecure, and they are struggling, and I'm happy that I can just sit here and say, like, it's so easy to say it when you're out of it, when you're, like, in a good state of mind. Even like right now. Like, I feel great right now. But I could maybe go eat the pizza that's in the fridge in a couple hours. And then come upstairs and look in the mirror and say, why the fuck did you do that? Why would you do that? You've already worked so hard and now you're just going to go eat junk food. Like, why are you doing that? Like, just because I'm not starving myself anymore doesn't mean I don't have the negative self-talk, and I have to train myself every single day to know that I'm worthy and I'm beautiful and I'm important. And that's all there kind of is to it. Life is so much more important than what you look like in a bathing suit or what you look like in a dress or what you look like on your birthday. Like, if you're being kind and you're loving people and you're treating people with respect and you're treating yourself with respect, like, yes, for me right now, going to the gym, working out, eating healthy, drinking enough water, those are all ways that I respect my body. Meditation, gratitude journaling, all these things are keeping me on the right track to health. But once it becomes, hey, I need to be skinny, I need to do this, my legs are too skinny, I need to bulk up, like, once it becomes that, and it's not like, oh, I need to be healthy, or I want to be healthy, or I want to be strong, once it's not that, it needs to end. And you need to reality check yourself. I have an obsessive personality, and things can become dangerous and scary for me really, really quickly. And I need to keep myself in check. I need the people in my life to keep me in check. And I need to be the best part of myself, to take care of myself as possible. You feeling good about yourself is so much more important than what, like, anyone else tells you that you should be. So if you're, like, slim, thick, and you're like, damn, I look good for you. If you're really, really thin, and you're like, this is how I want to look, I feel healthy, I feel strong, good for you. If you don't work out, and you eat junk food, and you treat yourself, and you care about yourself to the point where you're like, you know what, like, I'm just gonna eat what I want, and I'm gonna live my life, and I'm going to be happy and healthy and hang out with my friends and not really care about what my body looks like, great. You do you. As long as you're doing what's good for you and your mental health, that's all that's important. And I see so many girls, okay, like, liking, like, fitness models and all these things. And, like, people forget that literally, like, their job is working out. Their job is to look like that. They get paid to work out. If I got paid to work out, I would work out every day. Like, and, like, these people, like, there's Facetune, and they're in the gym for 4 hours a day, and they only eat, like, rice and chicken and spinach, like, you know, and, like, that's cool. But then you got a girl like me that's like, I want pasta today, and I want pizza tomorrow, and I want, like, a stir fry the next day. I don't think that you should restrict yourself based on, like, what, like, other people are doing. And as long as you're doing these things for you and you're working on these things for you, then that's what's important. And I can healthily say that I feel more confident and happy now eating everything that I want and living an active lifestyle than I did when I was starving myself. I'm not frail and fatigued and hurting anymore. And a part of my soul has healed, and I'm so grateful for that. But if you are struggling and a part of your soul is still healing, girl, boy, people, I see you. And I was you. And it is completely okay to feel like that. It is completely okay to feel like you're spinning your wheels. As long as you're trying. And yes, I am going to be dealing with the mental health side of things for a very long time, and positive self-talk is very important in anyone's recovery. But if you are struggling, start there. Start by looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you are fine just the way you are, and even if you don't feel beautiful, that someone out there is going to think so. And maybe, just maybe, stop looking on the outside for 5 minutes and just look on what's on the inside. What makes you the person you are, what makes your friends want to be friends with you. Just focus on what makes you happy and what makes you an asset in other people's lives. And once you start focusing on that and loving yourself and being grateful for the fact that you are here and you are creating and you are making more memories and making a good life for yourself, then you will start to realize that you deserve to be happy on all levels. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. And it may be faint right now. And the tunnel might be like 1,000 miles long. But you'll find it. And it'll be worth it. With all of that being said, I just want to put a disclaimer here. I am not a health professional. I'm not here to diagnose you. I am just here to say that, like, you deserve to love yourself enough to get help. You're important. So, thank you so much for watching. I know that was a really heavy video. Without further ado, if you liked this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, turn the post notification bell on, just because you know your girl's upload schedule is really erratic. So the next time you want to see another video, you might as well just put that on, because, like, I don't know when it's gonna come. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna film 4 today, or 2, or 1, or maybe just edit 1 but post, like, film 6. I don't know. So with all of that being said, I'm just going to leave this here. Thank you so much for watching. It was so good to see you, and I hope that you choose to prioritize yourself and your happiness, and that your 2019 continues to be fantastic. Yeah, and let me know. Also, there's a new intro. I don't know if you saw that, but, like, we changed our name. So now it's just, like, Stephanie with 2 E's Goddard. And, I don't know, how do we feel about it? Let me know in the comments down below how we feel about the new intro. I really like it. I like it a lot better than the first one. See you. Thank you so much for stopping by, and have an amazing day. Okay, bye.